glad to have you join us once again on the program, Economy in Focus, with me, Eugenia Solomon. As the name implies, the program is designed where we have a discussion about um, everything that has to do with the economy, ranging from stock exchange, capital market, and more. Well, today on the program, we are talking or looking at the topic shaping Africa's financial future, the role of credit innovation. Now, joining us to dissect this is an information professional and policy analyst, our usual guest in the house, Mr. Agunloye Benedict Olalikon. I believe I got your name well this time around. All right, glad to have you on the program today. All right, before we delve into the conversation proper, here is the background to the topic of discussion today. Now, the Africa Credit Expo 2025, organized by Credit Registry, aims to bring together key stakeholders in the financial industry. This is to discuss innovation, collaboration, and positive credit culture in Africa. The event will highlight the importance of credit information in empowering lenders and, of course, unlocking financial opportunities for borrowers. Now, let me ask you this question first. How has credit registry contributed to Nigeria's credit landscape since the inception in 2003?
Well, I will say to an extent it gives an official purview as to who we have the credit registry. But when you look at inclusivity, I don't think that it has captured enough of the people and of organizations within the country. You would also want to see visibility. I also don't think that the MSME and the lower sector of the economy, they have not been too visible. But however, for those who are in the high end and perhaps in the mainstream financial industry, they should have find credit registry very helpful. Going by maybe the awards, the recognition, and other stuff that they have also received at that level, you will say that oh, they are actually serving the purpose. But given you can get on the street and test and actually see how many Nigerians, especially the Gen Z and the MSME, how many of them knew about the existence of credit registry. Because if the majority of people, if 50% of people who should use a platform does not know the platform exists, then it tells you that the penetration and the effectiveness of the platform, given the generality, the totality of the people, is not as expected. But when you rate them on performance within the sphere where they are known, within the people that use them, I think that the rating for credit registry is very high. But the penetration and the inclusiveness is not that deep and it's not that wide. So they need to do more of educating the people and putting their platform out there for people to really know what they do and how to connect with them and leverage on the resources that they are bringing on scale, both for the lender and for the creditors. And of course, they have an API that is very robust that is able to link. But like I said, these benefits or these things that they have are not well known within the Nigerian social space. So they need to do more in the area of getting the people to know that they are there.
Okay, so earlier when you were talking, you made mention of testing, going to the field and testing to know how many people know about it. How do you think that can be achieved?
Well, they can run a survey. They can get media consultants to do that for them. Because if you sell a product, you need a feedback. If you set up a platform, like I said, we have an API that seems to be very robust. But if they themselves can bear witness. What is the volume of transaction in the Nigerian market? How many Nigerians are banked at the moment? How many Nigerians are unbanked? How many MSME do we have? What is the hit rate on their API per week? The hit rate will clearly also tell them that the volume of user is not commensurate with the volume of people who are in the Nigerian market space.
It's all right. So, what role? But before I ask you about the role, you also made mention of educating. You know, in this century we are living in,
Yeah.
it's kind of they call it computer era,
Yeah.
right? So you talk about educating people, and with the knowledge of, or with the number of people on social media, and yet this registry is not known, is not well known as it used to be then,
As it should be.
or as it should be now. What other means do you think they can use to educate people about that?
They definitely need to leverage on the social media platform. Like we said today, what is their X handle? Where are they on Facebook? Where are they on Instagram? Where are they on all the different platforms that the youth would actually engage with? Have they got a Google Hangout? Do they do events from time to time that the people can connect with? How many webinars are available out there for people to go and check and know about them? A lot of people today do not go to school to learn anything. They possibly want to run to Instagram, they want to run to YouTube. Is there a YouTube channel for them? I have not found one. So I think those are the things they need to leverage on. They need to get to the people. They need to put their name there. That when you talk about credit, the first thing you want to do is, let me see what is happening with the register. What is the position of this individual? What is the position of this organization? What is their credit rating? The easiest place to know would be to go to credit registry. But when I don't know that credit registry exists, there is no way I would be going there. So they possibly also need to sponsor some event. It can be by television. It can, of course, be even maybe what you would call a real life engagement. It could be a competition. It could be something that take you a tour of the nation or a tour of some states. You bring in youth together, you bring in different people, discuss things that relates to credit management and stuff like that. At least put your name there. Binance came from nowhere to sponsor Voice, is it Nigerian Voice or Voice Nigeria a few years back. With those adverts, if you are not careful, I will confuse your finance with Binance. And I'm sure they succeeded in doing that before leaving. So we should also see credit registry in the open space. Sponsor sport programs, sponsor any event that resonates with the people.
It's all right. So what role then does collaboration play in shaping Africa's financial future? And of course, how can stakeholders work together effectively?
Well, basically, when you come to innovation, of course, you're talking about market strategy. Credit registries do not need to get involved in the blue ocean or in the red ocean. They have nothing to compete for, as far as I'm concerned. We may also not even need them creating anything in the green ocean. But they should all be blue ocean strategy organization, which is these things are already there. Innovate around it. You will look at some of the fintech in Nigeria today. Some say, "Oh, just bring your phone number, remove the zero." Should be bank, CBN say bank, what do you call it? Account number should be 10 digits. Your phone numbers are 11 digits. Remove the first zero, take the remaining. That becomes your bank account number, and that's an innovation. you have your BVN and we can link into a lot of things. So if I have your account number, I have your BVN, I have your NIN, I'm able to leverage on different APIs and cross-check your data and know who you are. So what we are doing in essence is all those processes are innovating around existing information. The national identity number, the biometric verification number, and of course your account number, your date of birth, your address, and a few things, your geo position, where are you located based on the information you have provided, and then you can begin to rank. So that somebody is not in Brazil applying for a loan in Nigeria as if he is located within the nation. So definitely when you innovate individually and when people meet together, you can then begin to like say, okay, this is the innovation we are bringing on board. This is the innovation that we have tested. And then different organizations working within that space can collaborate to establish a larger reference point. And then you have an API that has been properly tested and that people can key in from different places. So you have got your database, I have my database, he's got his database. Rather than creating fresh databases or trying to add up, we can leverage on creating a link. And so there is a linked data, in which case, irrespective of where you are, I can use what I have generated, I can use cross-check with what you have generated, and leverage on what some other organization have done. That way, you are cutting down on the cost and the time and the effort for building the database, because these silos are already existing. But a proper collaboration will allow access to a larger information, and then to the usage across board will then become higher. There will be people on my platform who are possibly the people they are looking for or they want to interact with naturally are not within my space, but they are in your space, they are in some other people's space, but from my space, the link has been created, and so they can leverage on it. So they don't have to do 10 registration and do 10 search to be able to get the credit profile of an individual. Rather, they just need to search from the point of view where they are, and then that can go around, check, and bring them back the information that they get within seconds, and then they are okay. And that would then give more confidence to more people to want to leverage on the existence of the credit registries.
It's all right. But we'll take a pause here for a quick break. The program, Economy in Focus, will continue shortly. Well, you're welcome back from that break. If you are just joining us, you're watching the program Economy in Focus with me, Eugenia Solomon. And of course, on the program today, we are looking at the topic Shaping Africa's Financial Future, the role of credit innovation. And with me dissecting the topic of discussion today is an information professional and a policy analyst, Mr. Agunloye Benedict. You're welcome back from the break as well. All right, so let's continue with the conversation now. How can fintech innovation and credit data analytics improve financial inclusion and access to credit for MSMEs and individuals?
Yeah, basically when you bring on fintech, the fintech platform gives access to some basic information about the individual. Like we said today, if you have a phone number in Nigeria, it means that somebody can necessarily link you with your name based on that phone number. Of course, with your name, it should be possible to link other data about you. So without you necessarily having to fill a long form, somebody on the fintech platform can leverage on information, gather all background information that is required about calculating your credit profile in seconds. And then it comes back and you know, okay, this fellow is credit worthy or is not credit worthy. So basically, the innovations they are bringing in, yes, that's why today you have a number of loan apps here and there that individuals can access even without any form of collateral. Yes, we know that some of them are still not well managed, some of them are not doing good enough, some of them are not maybe the best that the individual should actually find himself involved with. But somehow, because they are looking at the technology end, and like we said, there is API for them to do cross-link data. It then becomes possible that in minutes, not in days, you can apply and get a loan. Now, when this data is further crossed and maybe more innovation comes up, it means that by the time you even put in your company registration number, your CAC number, a number of information like your TIN, your tax identity, and a number of other things becomes available for the purpose for which the context is being there. Of course, there is the Data Protection Act now, which of course requires that you cannot take certain information without the consent of the owner, and you are not expected to use information or data that you get about individuals or organizations for purposes other than the reason why it has been acquired. So based on that, you will see that it is possible now for MSME and individuals to get local loan, because previously there are no rating anywhere for them because they are not captured in the database. For instance, on the credit registry, so many MSME are not captured because you possibly have to go and register with them. You've got to fill some forms, you get some feedback through email, and then put some more information before you can become an established user. So a lot of MSME right now are not users of the credit registry. But when you bring in innovations, which makes any information they provide to be able to be used for doing some background checks and a lot of calculation and get results back technology-wise in minutes, then that puts them in the advantage and in the possibility of getting access to funds. So obviously, with those innovations coming in place, with more technology, with more collaboration, a lot more people and a lot more MSME can be transited from non-inclusion in credit scheme to inclusion.
Now, when you were talking earlier, you made mention of once someone has a phone number, that person has a name, and once you fill in or you give someone your name, that person will be able to access all the
some
information.
other information without you.
Exactly. Now, this gets me like thinking. Well, one would say that is that how other people get people contacts to scam? Because at times you get calls from only God knows where, and someone will just call you. Are you for you? Do you have account? You have account with us? We need to do this. Your date of birth is this. Please, can we get this very information from you? Is that how this particular information is?
Now, basically, that is not how. Because like we said, if you are going to do a background check, you need my consent to say, okay, you can do that. And then when you go on doing it, you actually don't need to call me for any information. For instance, if you say you are calling from my bank, every information on my record is available with the bank. If I have not applied for a new service, right, you do not need me giving you permission or providing information. So when people begin to ask you information that they should know, then you should know that it's already tending towards some fraudulent practices. When people begin to say, oh, a code has been sent to you, dictate the code to them. No. If that means they have used your phone number to generate the code as if they are the owner of the account.
Okay.
And so if you release a code that is sent to your phone to a third party, you are liable to have your account hacked. You are liable to being hacked. So basically, the purpose is not for criminality. The purpose, when we talk about fintech, is to ensure that things can be done way more easy. But once there is an original, there would always be, there can be a fake. Right? Once there is an original, there can always be a fake. There is ethical hacking, there is unethical hacking. Ethical hacking came before unethical hacking. So basically, we know that certain things can be used wrongly. But when it comes to the platform, technology will be safe. The individuals need to take precautions to ensure that they are also safe. So a service you have not applied for cannot be requiring data from you.
Okay. So what would you say are the key challenges facing the credit industry in Africa, and how can they be addressed through innovation and policy reforms?
Basically, like I said at the beginning, a lot of them exist in silos. I have my data, you have your data. He has his data, that has his data. Now, what do we need to do? We need to agree to work together at the level of linked data, which is to say, I can allow people from your platform to search on my platform. People from my platform can search on your platform and on other platform, right? So if the data are linked together, if links are provided, we are not really saying, give me your data, we may not do data exchange. Everybody can continue to have what they have, but there should be an opportunity, right, for cross-linking so that people can search. There should also be policies that encourage that. We now have Data Protection Act in Nigeria that defines the limit and the rights of individuals to their data that has been collated and collected. In some of the other collaborating entities, you need to be sure that they have Data Protection Act in place. Where they don't have data protection is going to be a challenge. So policy-wise, across Europe, every nation have got their own data protection standard. They've got their digitization and data standard. They've got what they call the Dublin Core, and everybody can select how many of the 16 documents listed here that they want to be within their country. And then for the purpose of collaboration, we all can agree to say, if you can decide to use all the 16 in your country, but for reason of collaboration and data exchange, we are limiting ourselves to these 6. And so those 6 forms the basis for which we will interrelate. So there should be policy reforms that recognizes the input of the individual nation, of the individual bodies, of the individual organization. And then you now decide to say, okay, we are working together. There should also be agreement that defines what is the basis of our work. Now, if there are charges to the user from each of the organizations, you also will now need to define how do we share the cost, or how do we share the revenue. Because you're on a platform, somebody is on my platform accessing your platform. If the payment is to me, then for you that is now providing the service by keeping the data, I should be paying something to you. So all that has got to be defined. And then if you are going to have maintenance and shut down period, there also has to be an interrelation that says you need to give me maybe 6 hours notice or this amount of hours notice, so that I can also inform my subscribers that this platform will not be available for this period. So it means if you are conducting a global search on the platform, results from this particular site will not be available from this day to this day. So if you want a full compliance, you may need to run your search before that time or after the shutdown.
Is all right. So how can a positive credit culture be fostered in Africa, and what benefits can it bring to the table actually, to the economy and the individuals?
Yeah, we need to let people know first that credit in business is not a crime. However, when you are taking a loan or you are accessing credit, you should know for what purpose the credit is being sourced.
Exactly.
When the credit is for investment, you're taking it and you are investing it, and you know what profit you are expecting. So credit culture therefore will mean that, okay, you need to expand your business or you need to meet your current requirement. This is what it is. So in the right sense, it should be known, it should be made very clear that credit is one of the source of business funding. When loan is not toxic, it is not bad. When you have a purpose for taking the loan and you have a repayment plan, it is not bad. When a loan will revolve but will be paying for itself, it's worth taking. And then of course, people also need to be educated to know what kind of credit that may not be advisable for certain categories of business. If the interest on the loan is more than the profit that you are likely going to make from the business, it tells you that that loan is toxic. You are only working for the money lender. You're not working for yourself, you're not working for your people.
And
So,
it's actually good for you to work for yourself,
yes.
actually not for the people. Work for yourself and get the result of what you want. Well, all right, this is where we draw the curtain on the program Economy in Focus today. A very big thank you to our resource person in the studio, Mr. Agunloye Benedict Olalikon, once again for your thoughts. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. You're
It's all
welcome.
right. And to you, our great viewers, thank you so much for always being there. Don't forget to keep a date with us next week for another episode. I am Eugenia Solomon. Thank you for watching.